World Wednesdays coming at you live on a Thursday.
Yep.
Which is a bit different, I think, but it's just a bit of fun, that, isn't it? Doing a show that's
Yeah.
called Old World Wednesdays on a Thursday. Who cares? It could be Wednesday somewhere, maybe.
Is it still Wednesday in Australia, or am I going the wrong way?
That is a very good question. Let's pretend we're going the right way. We're coming at you live from the other side of the world. Thanks for joining us. If you're watching for the first time, you've not joined us here on Epic Flail before, then please check us out, like and subscribe. We've got all sorts of Old World content coming up, including live streams, which are coming back to the channel.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I've just bought the kit to drill things that I probably shouldn't drill into the ceiling. So we're going to have a 4K dice camera, 4K camera of it. Yeah, we're doing all sorts of Old World stuff, so.
It's going to look really good.
It's going to be fun, yeah. So if you're watching for the first time, like and subscribe. If you're joining us live, then we'll be chatting to you shortly. As we go through the show, we're going to be talking about Old World and our first impressions, Rob. But we've had a bunch of games in now, so we're going to be talking about that. But while you're here, we also have a membership scheme, and we have a great Discord. We've got loads of we've got really active Old World chat, haven't we, on the Discord?
Oh, amazing chat.
A lot of stuff going on. So just get involved. Come support the channel. Give us a watch. Get involved. Thanks for stopping by. Like and subscribe, etc., etc. Rob, how are you doing, my friend? Thanks for coming on the show.
I'm good today. You know, adult things, but looking forward to this.
One of the... Do you like my Roy Hodgson top?
Warhammer.
Tim's with us. Tim!
Hello, Tim.
Good lad, mate. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Your game was cancelled, though. Boo. Oh. But on the you know, the good thing is you get to join us, mate.
Yeah, we can now involve you in the conversation.
With our new theme tune. It's very that theme tune is quite serious. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean type thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I love it, though, like the drums.
It's a bit of fun, isn't it, mate? It's a bit of fun. Do you know what the great thing... I know you've had a tough day, mate, but the great thing about Warhammer is we can just sit, switch off, think about the old world.
Yes.
Chat to our mates, and not think about anything else for a bit, which is sometimes is what is so fabulous about this hobby, isn't it?
Yes, like, take your mind off it. To be fair, we had a nice chat in the Discord today, actually. You know, I was feeling a bit, and they reached out, got some support, had some DMs, personals, and...
Good lads.
It was good. It's a nice community for that.
Good job, community. We do have a support space thread on the Discord, and it's good fun to just check in with people, isn't it, and ask how they're doing, and say random stuff, and chuck memes in the chat, and all sorts of fun things like that. On today's show, my friends, we are going to be talking about our initial interpretations and views of Old World. We're going to talk about the box and the models. We're going to talk about the rules, and we're going to talk about how it kind of plays. Yep. What's the game feeling like? We've had a bunch of games now, and we've watched a bunch of games, so we're going to get into like what does it actually feel like being at the table playing Old World. If you are not joining us live, in the description there will be timestamps. So some people come on the channel and go, "Where's the content? It's 10 seconds in." Go to the description.
It's all content.
It's all this is content, guys.
It's all content.
Me just checking in with Rob. That is a good bit of content.
I did forget to ask you, how was your week?
Mate, we're going to get into my week. But do you know what? Shall I wear my sunglasses?
Oh, yeah, I mean, if it's controversial, you got to.
I might wear my sunglasses. I'm less comfortable than I normally am because I realise I'm not wearing my sunglasses. They will be deployed. My week in Warhammer. Yeah, it's been good, actually, mate. I had a really good game against Tim. When was that, Tim? Was it the weekend? So it's become a bit of a blur. I think it might have been last Friday. I had a game against Tim. And then I also played Michael. In fact, two of my opponents are in the chat. Welcome, men. Really good games. I've done a lot of painting, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Did you see downstairs? I've taken over the whole...
Yeah.
Was it Saturday?
The kitchen table was like Warhammer.
Mm. It's like a Bretonian assembly area.
It looked nice, though. Well done.
The wife doesn't feel the same.
I suspect not, but...
Georgia... I think it's got so bad that Georgia came in today. I was literally in the middle of work, and Georgia came in and she was like, right, just for tape measure, started like doing measurements and stuff. And I was like, oh man. She's like, shelves, we're getting shelves.
I mean, you could do with some shelves in here, let's be honest.
I ain't got a single shelf in the whole room.
I mean, put some over there, you know. Yeah. Display your armies. So nicely
yeah, well, that's
painted.
the thing. That's what I said to her. The thing is, I've sort of said, if we get some shelves, I'll be able to get all my Warhammer stuff out of the spare room.
That was a mistake.
That was a mistake because she thinks that's going to be a solution now, and I don't think it is. So, yeah, I've had a good week of fantasy, mate. A good week of Old World. Plenty of games, plenty of thinking about the game, lots of painting. What about you? You had a game. I mean, you're going to talk about your interpretation.
Yeah.
Look at Johnny in the chat. Johnny, appreciate you, mate, for helping me try and get unbanned from Facebook. It's an ongoing side quest that we're on. Sorry,
Hello, Johnny.
Go on. How's your week been?
My week's been all right. In terms of outside a game, these things happen. But in the game, amazing. I'm also painting.
Good lad.
I need some core units. I've discovered I don't have enough for a 2,000-point army, which is questionable. But I've been painting loads of tiny dwarves. So
is the mystery printer man, Santa?
He may be. Santa. I may have a double mystery Santa people who have had to get involved in
Just
this
don't name them this time.
I won't.
Especially after some of the things they say to me, how horrible they are to me.
Well, hopefully this week or next week I'll have an actual 2,000-point army, and then I've got to base it and paint it. That take a couple of days.
Good lad. I look forward to getting a gaming with you, my friend.
Yeah, definitely.
It's going to be fun. Right. I want to get straight into it because I'm really excited about this. Chat.
Let's do it.
I'm going to present, guys. Look so organised. Look at this.
I was in shock when I saw this.
So organised. We're going to cover the box and the models, the rules, and how it plays. And the folks that join us in the chat, we would like your feedback and reflections on all of these sections.
Yeah, speak up. We want to hear it.
Let's kick it off with the box and the kit. What a book! The book's great, isn't it?
I love it.
It's right behind us. Just here in my fabulous cabinet.
On display for all to see.
Yeah, the artwork is real nice. The artwork took me back to original, getting a white dwarf. When there was no internet.
Yeah.
And the only way you kind of saw armies or saw what things looked like, whether going into the shop or a club or getting the white dwarf, or owning a book and going into the book. And it kind of reminded me of the days where I would turn a page of the white dwarf and proper look at a picture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Rather than just
and I have a look at the army in there.
Yeah.
I was enjoying, in the 40k data slates, you just have the data slate and there's no pictures. Right. As you go through all of the army rules in all of these, there's additional illustrations on all the pages. Some specific units have got 2 or 3 illustrations. That was just amazing to me.
Yeah, real nice.
It feels like being young again.
It does, doesn't it? We said that when we went to Warhammer World. It does. Warhammer World can't. If you played the hobby since you're a teenager or a kid, it does just make you feel quite nostalgic. Makes you feel like a kid again. I mean, you're like, Bugman's Bar! I mean, Bugman's Bar is nice, but it could also... it could also be in a service station and you wouldn't be like, oh my... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, the food was not, but the actual
food is food. I mean, it's food.
It's food, yeah.
It is food. Say what you want about Bugman's. It is food, but I don't know how tasty it is. Who's slagging off my background? F for the side shows. F for the choice of... Listen, I'm no swearing on this show.
It's the same colour as his Bretonians, so you best be careful.
Yeah, this is my Bretonian army colours, mate. This is my... What are you on about? This is my family flag. This is the North family's family flag. How dare you? How dare you, sir? I'm also colourblind, so whatever. I'm glad it's triggered someone after 8 minutes of streaming. What's with the background? Welcome to the show. Either way. Yeah, it does take you back, doesn't it? And seeing the kind of full spread of stuff and the artwork by the unit rules is super cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable.
I do have something to say about the kits.
It takes you back days, dude, for sure.
Yeah. It's brutal calling me for. I ain't got time to call brutal on a stream. The kits take me back to when I used to glue my fingers together. Cheers, Brandon. Appreciate you, mate. Appreciate all the members in the chat.
Yeah. Hello, everyone.
Good characters.
Those green names.
Green names. We love to see your green names. The kits took me back to when I used to glue my fingers together. I haven't glued my fingers together. This is a genuine point. I'm not even joking. I ain't glued my fingers together for years. Years and years and years. I glued them together, I think, twice at the weekend with super glue. Seriously.
I was looking at
doing Grail nights.
Are they plastic and metal bits in the same kit?
No, it's Grail nights, but it's the same thing. It's kind of like Ali, all right, my friend. It's kind of it just kind of leaves you to your own devices.
Yeah.
The Grail nights I got from Games Workshop, and it's literally just kind of you just open the box and you're like, oh, you just got to work it out. I mean, it's not that complicated, but it's not this. And this, so this is a picture from the old world, had the supplement bit that comes with the Bretonian box.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's not that complicated, but it is Well, it's not nothing like the 40k kits, which literally just kind of fall into place and are very pleasurable to put together. These are a little bit of. I mean, look at the.
Well, that guy is like 6 parts with 3 head convert. Like,
yeah,
that would be 4 bits in a 40k kit, and they would be like the legs as one. And
yeah, it's not as friendly.
Yeah,
but I mean, we're talking about models that are like from 2003. So like, what do you expect? Yeah, a lot. I mean, they are just like direct copies. I think when I did a box opening, there's a word for that, unboxing.
Unboxing.
When I did a box open,
go and see it on the channel.
yeah, go back and look at me just like awkwardly opening the box in front of people. I thought I'd give it a try. And
he's got a point. It isn't worse than the Death Leaper.
The Death Leaper.
Yeah, you've done that model. Oof.
Yeah, that was quite stressful. I don't want to labour this point too much, but basically, if you're getting Old World and you're getting one of the kits, it's definitely going to take you back because it's not going to feel like a really easy process putting them all together. But it's kind of fine. Like very customisable.
Yeah, I was going to say like the old blisters where there was no instructions at all.
Yeah, we just had to like stare at it.
I can see actually on this is like 5, 6 different heads, which is quite cool.
This is another thing I was thinking about doing a video just on the Bretonnian box because there's lots of things I wish I knew before I put it together. One was that it says that you get 2 units of Knights of the Realm, but you actually get 2 units of Knights of the Realm or Knights Errant. It's up to you. You just got to change the heads. So the Knights of the Realm have the fancier heads, and Knights Errants just have the like chump heads with no helmet on.
Oh, okay.
They're like them Space Marines who are just like, I don't need a helmet. Why do Space Marines not wear helmets?
They like getting shot.
I find that. Sorry to talk about 40k. I find that one of the most. I'm putting the glass on. I find that one of the most stupid things. Anyway, Knights Errants are as stupid as Space Marines and don't wear helmets. The kits can be hard work.
So
but
you only put Knights of the Realm, so you didn't have to wear paint heads?
Yeah, mate. I didn't paint heads. I've got. Well, have you seen all those bowmen I've got to paint over there?
Oh God.
It's like a queue for a job seekers thing. It's just like they're all just like all these like wacky faces. It's gonna be like, man, I've got like 80 people to paint. Liam's in the chat. Liam, where are my cards?
I'm not going to comment.
Liam has literally got like gold for me. They're worth like 80 quid, and Liam's just sat on them, not sharing them. Right, behind me. Why aren't they in the post? Good Lord. Let's get this man interrogated. I might ring him up. Liam, I might ring you. Will you answer if I interrogate you on the phone?
Yeah, get him on the phone.
So there is a problem with the Bretonnian kits that people should be aware of, and that is donkey face. Melted donkey face. Okay? Thank you, Liam. Look at him admitting to activity.
Yeah, you see, I don't say no names this time.
You put yourself out there. Some of the faces of the Bretonnian horses look like they've been bred in Chernobyl.
I laugh.
Don't they?
Yeah,
look at his face.
When you posted that on the Discord group, I was like, you can't be serious. And then there's like half of them.
Johnny says, that's what I call my ex-girlfriend. What, donkey face? And you're a Knight of the Realm, mate.
Well, that's questionable.
No, he's a good lad. Viridian says, I think it's Viridian. It's hard to see with these sunglasses, I'm not going to lie. Most stupid thing about Space Marines, why do they have leather holsters all over the models when the guns maglock to their armour?
It's a fair point.
Good question. But we'll take that to Meta Mondays on Monday. 140,000 live
to
podcast.
Liam in the Discord, right?
Yeah.
And he'll do a whole lore piece on it for you.
I only got one donkey face.
You're lucky. There was some serious.
Some people got a lot. Some people got like I saw like 5 or 6 donkey faces. Part of me thought I would assemble that with the donkey face and maybe it'd be worth something. Do you know what I mean? Like a scalper in like 20 years would be like, the original donkey. I remember the donkey face. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got one too, you know.
The donkey. So I've kept it. I mean, I've chopped it off. But anyway, donkey face does exist. But I think the kits have aged well. What do you think, Rob?
Yes. Like, I mean, we were there on the day when they released, like, in Warhammer World, and they individually, you can pick them apart, but when they're in a unit, they're something else. Like, it's really, they're good feel. On the table, you can tell that this is one unit of Bretonnians. You know, we saw the Team Kings, and even a shout out to the Orcs and Goblins. As much as it hurts my heart, it's not dwarves.
I'm so sorry I convinced you it was dwarves.
I know, I'm still really...
Spent the whole car journey telling me he was about to see dwarfs, and then got there, I was like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oops. Sorry.
It's all good. Look at that, even on that screen, right? You can tell that's a unique unit. You know, if you've got a couple of them lined up, they feel nice. It feels like knights.
Looks cool.
I'm not a generic Space Marine player, but I can't never tell the difference on the other side of the board, whereas you can with old.
Yeah. So when they're all together and they're painted up nice, you're not being like, oh, it's 2003. Well, it looks cool. Let's talk about the rules.
Oh yeah, the rules.
There's a lot of them.
How many of them?
200.
Yes, it's a number, isn't it?
Lots and lots and lots of rules.
I can't remember how many it is, but I was sat there reading that book, and then I was like, actually, I think I'm going to have to read this book again, and then another time the next day, because...
I don't think I've even read it all yet. I have to read it in bits because the way my brain is malfunctions. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm so glad I've had a couple of games with the lads to actually look. I think I might have drove Michael insane the first game where he got and sat down and I was like, right, I've not really read the rules, but let's give it a go. And he was like, okay, well, I've not like really read the rules either. I was like, uh-oh. I was kind of leading on I thought, he'll know the rules. Both like, uh-oh.
Me and Steve had the book in front of us, essentially going through, what does this organ gun do again?
Probably misses.
Yeah. Not a lot of hits.
I think both games I had, it was like, right, hit it on the 4, miss. Hit it on the 4, miss.
Yeah, Delta's got a good point here, right? In order to learn the rules, you have to play them. And I agree.
I'm the same.
Having played the games, I feel like, obviously I don't know the rules, but I feel like I have a greater understanding of the rules.
Yeah, I have to kind of see it and experience it to process it. Why have we got an alarm going off? I've done something, everyone. Well done. That's Apple Watch's fear.
Congratulations.
Lob it across the room. It's doing my head in. So there are lots of rules, but there's not loads of gaps.
Yeah.
Everything does seem covered. The one bit that we were chatting about a lot on the Discord was the lance formation thing, but then you came in and said all Bretonian players are stupid.
Yeah, well...
And I was like, okay, well, that's one way to end that discussion. Rob was like, this is just stupid Bretonian players not reading the rules. Like,
I had to put my foot down.
Get him banned from Facebook, not me, lads.
I'm
permanently banned from Facebook. My whole account's getting deleted.
We'll have to make you a new one with a funny picture of
I think I might come back on as Donkey Face.
You're definitely getting banned for that.
Donkey Face.
Yeah.
I don't think... I mean, you're quite good with the rules, Rob. I've sort of been leaning on you for 40k rules and Old World rules, but does it feel quite rounded to you? Does it feel like they've got most bases covered?
Yeah. So as you go into depth, like even you had a situation today where there is actually a rule to cover it. You just find it in the rule. So I've not found any gaps per se. Where some games, 40k or Age of Sigmar, you're like, what happens in this situation? Neither of us know. Let's roll a 4-up. I've not had to result to a 4-up yet, which is actually quite nice.
I never in my life want to resort to a 4-up.
I mean, there've been times in 40k you're like, TA doesn't know, Judge doesn't know,
yeah. It's like
both players don't know. 4-up it? Well, I guess that's the best result we've got.
It's awful. Yuki Rancid, have you seen the MWG video, Can You Explain Break Test? I've not seen that video. Should we tell us about it, Yuki Rancid? Tell us if there's something we should...
Yeah.
What's the vibe of that vid? So yeah, there are a lot of rules, but it doesn't seem like there's loads of gaps. It does seem a nice amount of depth.
Yep.
And lots of special rules.
Yeah, so I think it's 170 something special rules. They cover everything though. So, well, I was saying if you look at every single one of the indexes, it isn't this unit has special rule X, this unit has special rule X. It has keyword stubborn. It has keyword close order. What do they do? Well, I go to the main rulebook and have a look, which is massively easier for a new player coming in. Read the rulebook, read the special rules. Yes, it's a lot of them, but you're not going to have to learn any more of them. Whereas 40k is a nightmare for that.
The first few games, I think, are going to be frustrating for people where you have to be like, oh, what's veteran again?
Yeah.
Oh, drilled. What's stubborn? And you have to keep going back and back. But I think once it's in your head, it's actually not that bad, is it? And
no.
They are repeated across all the units. It's not like 40k where it's the same thing, but slightly it's a different word and a slightly different effect. And you're like, what is that? That rule? Yeah, it is, but it's a tiny bit different. You're just like, oh man, that's quite confusing.
It's like regeneration. They've got regeneration X, and you just go to the unit. Well, I've got it twice. Cool.
Yeah. There is a nice amount of depth to it, and I like the variety of the special rules, but it doesn't feel like the special rules are at a point where you'll never be able to remember them all. Do you know what I mean? I imagine 40k has an equal amount of rules that eventually all get implanted in people's brains, so that doesn't feel too bad.
No, I think it's
the bit that annoyed me a little bit, but maybe it'll be sorted out when Liam actually sends me these cards.
It's my fault, but
Can you not just, I've paid him for postage as well.
Yeah, well, I'm just half inching on the back of it.
Oh, right, okay. So I'm paying for his postage. Is that what this has become? So I've literally, with Liam, the value of the item you're basically holding hostage from me, the value is decreasing every day. I'm a scalper. I need that.
You don't want to go. You don't want to start that one, mate.
I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm the opposite. I give stuff away every week. I'm giving away a unit of Vanguard veterans this week to have a talk to most on the Discord. Some people like Matt, I can tell they're gunning for it because they just Matt thinks that he's going to win it by just randomly saying things.
No, it's about quality as well as quantity.
It is about quality as well as quantity. That's a good lesson. Liam, please send me these cards. Oh, Johnny reckons he's on them. Do you know Johnny's going out of his way to help me? Johnny's in a conversation with Meta to try and get me unbanned. I mean, that's going above and beyond. And he's a member.
Green name. And actually, he's one of the people I spoke to about my day.
Well done, Johnny. You're a good man. You're a good lad. We've got to look after each other. Lot to take in for old fantasy players. There are a few changes and surprises out there in there that might, if people like jumping straight from last edition to this, particularly around the fleeing mechanic. I think that's the bit that takes you like a little bit to get your head around. That's the bit that, particularly in mine and Tim's game, we were like, oh, hang on, what's the result for this again? What happens here? So
I'm a dwarf player, right? Unless I roll a 10 or more, like 11 or 12, I don't have to look at that. I just fall back a bit. But yeah, it's a bit of a mind game. Like, it's going to lead on and make one of my impressions. But yes, it's harder to get, but it makes the combats feel better.
Definitely makes the combat feels better. We'll talk about it. Yeah, we'll talk about it in the what does the game feel like to play.
Yeah.
But that rule in particular, and I know some people might look at it a bit, oh, it's complicated, you know. Maybe that's what that mini wargaming video is talking about. Like, can you explain break tests? It is a bit different to other. There's not really anything like that in 40k as such, and it's a little bit different to other previous editions of Fantasy have gone. But when it's on the table, we're going to talk about it. It does bring a lot of depth to the game.
Yeah, massively.
There's strategic elements to it, which we're going to discuss. There's also just like a visual element to it to discuss. But it is worth noting that particularly with how my brain works, or doesn't work actually. It's a better phrase.
He's got a wind up.
How my brain doesn't work. I do find myself just like staring at the dice and being like, "What? I don't know what that means."
I found a little trick, right? If you get when you break test or whatever before it is, line up dice for opponent, line up dice for me. This is an old.
Oh yeah.
And you're like, my leadership is 8. And then I'd -2, roll it, and then you can go in your head, I failed it, or I didn't fail it, or I ran away.
Yeah. I was doing a dice thing. I was getting quite protective of the dice thing as well. When Tim tried to, I was like, I want to do it. It's my time. I was like, I want to do my dice bit. And he was like, all right, calm down. There you go. Whatever you think. I was like, I want to do it. I want to make the row of dice. Stu, welcome, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Return to the old world. Johnny says it seems like there's significantly less terrain in Old World as well.
Yeah, I felt that.
There is less terrain, isn't there?
I didn't get a hill in my game. I was quite upset.
Did you not?
No.
Oh, my heart bleeds for the dwarf player with no hill.
But we were sat there, and both me and Steve were like, "This feels empty." And obviously, I think we had 7 pieces of terrain on the table. But compared to a 40k game, where you can't see from one side of the table without like diagonal for a maze, it's interesting. But I feel like that is more representative of the game. I think of the game, but also we played on a 6x4 board, so it's a bigger board, which was interesting as well.
Is that the standard size for 2,000 points 6x4?
You get to use both because the old world don't like to use the table you have.
This is 6x4, isn't it?
Looks it, yeah.
When we play 40k, we cut it off there, so that's like a 60. Is that 6x4?
Yeah, so you could play the whole thing and just put your dice on.
on the
edge and tell them not to. You can't deploy in the
in the dice tray. Be a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a lot of rules to take in, but the bit that people might grumble about if they just come to it out fresh is the fallback mechanic. Return to the Old says fallback, flee, etc. leans into some historic games which have more complex rules for that.
That makes sense.
Seth says, I need to head back to work, but I do have a question on the playing portion. I'll watch later. Does the square bases make the game go faster, easier to use movement
but
trays?
We'll discuss it in more detail.
Yeah, good question, mate.
Watch it back and you'll hear our thoughts on it. But
it kind of surprisingly so. I think a few of the games I was like, well, that's my first turn.
Yep.
It's like, done.
Yep.
It's just 40k's first turns are like, I'll just kill half your army. Do you know what I mean? This will shoot, that'll do this. You're like, oh, cool,
Some
okay. I've not had a turn, but I don't have any models. Yeah, fun.
It's because you're playing knights, mate.
That is because I'm playing knights, and I'm also bad at fighting.
Yeah, there's a hill behind it.
I'm glad I don't need to. I'm going to get first turn. Watch this. I've not got first turn.
Yeah.
The index is good. Thank goodness it's got an index.
Yes, that was amazing when you were trying to go through. Well, we were fortunate actually. We were playing it on I want to call it a data slate, but it's not. It's because I've been reading the old 4K books. iPad, right? Not sponsored, but
imagine if we were sponsored by iPads.
Yeah, we'll have one.
Yeah. Rob's just let that drop midway through the show, but yeah, we're sponsored by Apple.
I wish. I could just, index was allowing me, right, which one are we going to, where are we going to, and then it was like 2 seconds as opposed to going through, and it meant...
Yeah, that is nice.
We were reading every single rule, right, brand new, not to it. The game was quicker than a 40k game. Similar points cost. So it was just like...
That's because 40k, a lot of your opponents give up after.
Well, no comment, but...
I don't want to play it. Just trolling you. I'm trolling you, lad. So, like, general thoughts then, and some things that we've seen people doing videos on and talking about. And I know Liam Jordan was chatting about this on our Discord, so I'm interested in his feedback as well. Are broad units too strong?
Yeah, no, is my honest opinion.
Explain to us people's fear of those broad units.
So I think the problem with broad units that people are seeing is it was going to be lots of attacks going backwards and forwards. Right, if you're playing and you can end up with multiple units charging into multiple units, but I think that does happen. But I think that happens for a different reason. I don't think they're too strong. I think it's been looked at it from the 8th edition rules where everyone and his mum had 3 attacks, right? And you'd come in and it'd be like, okay, so I've got 8 strong, I've got 24 attacks. Now my 8 strong Ironbreaker unit puts out 7 attacks.
Yeah, and half of them, most of them miss anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Games I was playing like miss. Oh, okay.
I hit on 4s, wound you on 4s.
Yeah. You got a free up save. Okay,
Yeah.
well, nothing's getting through there.
Honestly, I think it was 7 full rounds of combat, so 4 turns from 2 units to die in our game. And I was 6 wide and he was like 8 wide.
It's just, people, so the rule, isn't it, right? Let's see if I get this right, it's a bit like a test doing it live. Models in the front rank get to fight. Well, I mean, if they're still alive, models in the front rank get to fight all attacks if base to base with an enemy model. If they are not base to base with an enemy model, they can make a single attack. So I guess people's worry is you have like a 20, 30 broad, like a stupidly broad unit, and it gets charged by a small unit. Loads of attacks coming back because every single model in the front rank will get a single attack.
I mean, I can see that, right? What is that unit? Where are you putting that unit on the board? Okay, because you're limiting everything behind it, and it's going to be okay against some armies. Like my dwarf army, I'm just going to laugh, let that hit my 3 dwarf units, shoot things behind it. I'll place a cannon and run it through it, or whatever.
It's a bit gimmicky.
Yes,
do you know what I mean? It's a bit one of those things in your head. You're like, oh, this is going to be really strong, but then when there's actual terrain on the table. And like a bit of impassable, maybe.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
a bit more of a dynamic situation.
But if it's an open board and they walk across, fair play. But there is terrain.
If you're playing in a really just an alley, no terrain whatsoever.
But the moment they put a single hit wool in past like a tree or something in there, that unit's going to be a pain for them.
Yeah, chat's great. Liam says big long line really strong if you're playing against someone who tried to fight them by charging 1 unit, which is 20 strong. If you're playing against someone with a functioning brain cell,
he's got. That's what I'm
this
saying.
is a classic Liam sentence. You'll be fine, as they have too many counters.
Yeah,
Return to Hero says really broad units can't maneuver. That is also very true. Well, I was doing when I was playing Tim. I was doing some really fun illegal wheels and maneuvers where I did one move and he went, "Yeah, I don't think you're allowed to do that." I was like, oh, what was I doing? I didn't know. He was like, you were wheeling from the back. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, going,
that don't work.
Don't think you're allowed to move like that. Oh, yeah. Turns out you're not. Dragons, people are stressed about dragons being super killy, super hard. Liam, I know you were talking about that in the chat. Turner said, don't you get bonuses for having more ranks? You do, my friend.
Yep. You get 1
per rank up to 3 if you're close order.
2 unless you're warband, and then you get 3.
So you guys, I'm what's called a rules expert.
And heavy infantry are 4 wide, normal infantry are 5 wide.
There you go. That's why we've got Rob on the channel. Hey, there he is. Tom Green finding too good. Hey, what's black? Oh,
You
nearly went in.
You should be careful.
He has given us £2, so I should read
Give him
it.
a shout out. Tell him is he in on Monday?
Aye. What's is this? Can you just check and make sure I'm not going to... You read that joke and just tell me if I'm going to get content warning. Is that fine?
It looks okay now, but I might be missing something.
What's black and sits at the top of the stairs? Tom, please.
This is why I'm worried, you know. It looks... okay.
Tom, this is the sort of thing Tom lives for. He's flying into a chat and on a live show, putting everybody involved at serious risk. It's in my practically the reverse beeping noise from my, also from me trying to get out of Tom Green's £2 super chat, but also my illegal reverse wheelie.
Were you trying to reverse alarms?
Yeah, just going back like that. The guys at the front were like, wee! No one was staying still. They were just like walking backwards.
I agree with Nuki here. Warhammer Fantasy is going to the top. We call it the old world, though, Nuki.
So, Telly Novelli, good friend of the show, friend of us in the real world.
Yep.
He's noticed that, like, all the stuff is sold out that you can get from Age of Sigmar for Warhammer Fantasy. So, like, you can't get any Chaos stuff. You can't get the Chaos Knights. Like, it's literally people are just like, Chaos! Like, buying all the stuff they didn't want to happen.
Yeah.
Right? Because they were like, oh, we're separate companies, don't buy our models. People are just like, we're buying models and we're putting them on square bases.
Yeah.
So it's clearly going amazingly well because everything's getting bought out. Whacked on a square base.
This is where my Dwarf Core problem is, because I thought I'd just get a couple of boxes of a Dwarf Core, get the hard stuff that isn't printable, you know, available on the side.
Totally.
That's not a thing. That isn't happening. 6 months, maybe they'll be back in stock.
Yeah. We're chatting about Discord. We're chatting about dragons in the Discord.
Yep.
And dragons, dragons are going to be strong. Like, it's a dragon. Like, you want a dragon to be good in the game. You don't want that to just kind of hit and not do anything. The rules definitely feel less killy in the sense that there isn't the level of rerolls that you see in other game systems.
Correct.
It's not like hitting on 3s, rerolling 1s, winning on 2s, rerolling 1s. You know, it's not that like it's like hitting on 4s, rerolling nothing, 7 attacks.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Like, yeah, he's saying
Liam's just saying
it should be strong, and I think it is. I think there is a question: is it too survivable against some armies? You know, I don't think Team Kings are killing a dragon. I'll be honest with you, but then they've got their own characters and own dragons and stuff like that. So, it's too early to tell. You know,
It is early days. Yeah.
No one has played more than 10 games unless they're testing this. So, you know, give it a couple of months. Are there going to be a problem? I don't think so. I think you're going to have answers to them. But then you might just find that you can just skirmish it or whatever. You know?
Yeah. I think the really interesting thing about Old World from a rules perspective, that really flowed out, didn't it? Is that it's not just about killing as much as you can. It's about being efficient with what you do kill and what you lose.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think people at a basic level, or not at a basic level, but just to look at a game and go, right, how do you win? Well, you win. Whoever kills the most wins. Okay, cool. So I need to kill stuff. You do need to kill stuff, but you also need to not lose things that are worth lots of points.
Yeah, no, dragons are like 500 points.
Yeah, so you can sink a lot of stuff in a dragon. So there might be some viable tactics of being like, right, this 500-point model. My question would be how much can it reliably kill without easily dying? Because if it like killing something being hard to kill is not necessarily a problem. Something being it's like if you can hold something up and just keep it there and then kill the rest of an army and get loads of points and just let that really expensive model actually, okay, yeah, it's scary, but it didn't you kind of just fed it like cheap units. Do you know what I mean? Like 100-point unit, 100-point unit, 100-point unit. That's actually okay if meanwhile the rest of the army you're murdering with your more punchy stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's not just a case of like how much does it kill.
So there's also a sly tactic I'll let you in on. The panic test.
Smashing the model and hiding it.
Yeah, other than the hammer.
The hammer technique. Yeah, I've got the hammer down. Telly's here, right, Telly?
If you kill a unit within 6 inches of it, it has to make a panic test.
Well, the dragon?
Yeah.
Or just
unless
as
it's
a core
psychology, yeah. It's just a core roll. If anything that gets destroyed within 6 has to make it causes panic checks. If it hasn't got immunity to psychology, some of them do, but you can make it and go on then, run away and watch it run off the table or run off.
That's when you deploy your toilet dice.
Yes, exactly.
Your high rollers.
Give them to your opponent though. So
yeah, you just slot them in. Slot in a couple of high rollers. Telly says Monster Slayer seems necessity is the special rule. I guess the meta will respond in kind to what people start taking. I think dragons are a good one to have our eye on, but I don't have a huge stressful concern about them.
No, there's another couple of units that I'm a bit concerned about.
Go on, what are you worried about?
Maybe the gyrocopter.
Oh, not this gyrocopter thing.
I'm a dwarf player, and it concerns me that they seem as strong as they are. Like, not 1 or 2, but...
Are they not going to get capped at 3 by anyone who's sensible?
Well, Luke has said I can have 3 units, right? But that still means I can have 18 of them.
Oh, right, because you can just do chunky.
No, I don't.
You can do that, but you won't have any friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Someone's going to do it. There's a lot of people that just don't care, but they're like, I don't care.
Right.
I made my mind up about how many friends I needed, and it's not many.
I'm going to have 3 units of Thunderers, 2 units of Quarrelers.
People will travel far to do. You know what I mean? People. That's sort of like. No, I can't use that analogy. That is a really adult analogy. Don't do that, Paul. I'll just say it how it is. Look how I've spelt general, by the way.
I wasn't going to say
Why didn't you point that out? We literally vetted this. It says general.
I noticed it about a minute ago.
General thoughts.
It's an orc general. That's how he spells it.
Ah, yes, general. Yeah. People are going to take these broken lists and then not play anywhere near them. Do you know what I mean? They'll like travel for miles to play that gyrocopter list just to troll the event. No risk of upsetting any of their friends, and then come back down and be like, you never guess what I did at the weekend. I travelled to Edinburgh and played with an 18 gyrocopter list.
When's Liam's event? I can go up there.
Yeah, Liam, we're going to come. We're going to fly up and just bring as many as we can.
18 gyrocopters.
Why has Tom Green paid us £2 to say, aye, what's black and sit at the top of the stairs and then disappear? That is the most Tom thing. Who needs friends, Virgin? You're right, mate. Who needs friends? Wood elves might be a problem with lots of MSU.
Rule of 3 stops it. And GW have already said, I think it's a rule of 3 and then Core's rule of 6. And yeah, they can have 6 units of 5. It's going to hurt. I'll be honest with you. You're going to take damage, but then you get in their face and kill them. And you've seen what it's like rolling to hit in this game.
Yeah. Nothing's going to die. That's the interesting.
Don't read it.
Oh, whoa there, Tom Green.
Don't read it. I save you the time.
Bit of a delay, sorry, mate. Like a 10-minute delay. Just keeping everyone in suspense for that.
It was good, but
if you're not watching this live, then you can click the live chat button to see the answer to the joke. What's black and sits at the top of the stairs? Not something that I can probably read out on YouTube, but appreciate it, Tom. So how does it play? That's a key question of our next slide.
I love it, for one. The movement phase is something else, right? It's a bit more like tactical because unless you're going to beat reverse. Illegal.
Listen, it was only once. I only did a reverse wheel once, and Tim told me off quite quickly, and then I was well behaved after that.
But because your unit is only going somewhere, right? It can go, you can turn it or you can move half the movement across. It means that your deployment is huge because if you mess up deployment, you're not getting a unit from one side to another. As a dwarf player, getting a unit across is going to take me about 5 games, not just one.
Be like a Duke of Edinburgh award.
Yeah.
The dwarfs turn 7, they all get a bronze Duke of Edinburgh. They're like, bloody hell, I've walked so far. It's like 10 kilometres. There you go, lads, there's your bronze.
I think there are some widgets, Telly. He's asking us if they're widgets for moving.
You bring a protractor.
I mean, definitely might be useful in some cases.
I think widgets are going to be great in this game and super important, particularly for the wheeling.
And facing as well, yeah. I like one for facing.
It is what I really, really enjoyed about the movement phase is the precision of it. It reminded me of another game, which I'm not allowed to say the name of due to just me saying it every single day. People getting really angry. I get DMs now, people just saying, please don't say that W word again. We're absolutely sick of you mentioning it. But it does remind me of that kind of like, you have to be quite, you can't just go, 40k triggers me like you wouldn't believe when people pick up a unit and fling it forward. I've had games against Liam where I've said, stop everything. Please remeasure how far that's gone. Yeah, I'm going to go for a walk. I say, Liam, stop. I'm going to take a break right now for 5 minutes. And when I come back, I want that unit to have moved what it's meant to have moved. I'm only joking. Liam's a very tight. I'm just taking Mick out of Liam.
Is that before or after his dice?
It's before his. Anyway. But you know, this is the sort of game where you have to make it really clear to your opponent. You can't just start wheeling and dealing.
Yeah.
You have to be like, right, this unit is going to wheel to there. That's 2 inches. It's then going to move 6 to there. Happy? Cool. Yeah. Nice.
I found it was really helpful having my opponent hold a corner, and Liam mentioned it as well in Discord, because you can't hold a unit and measure it and twist it.
Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah,
you know. So hold the corner here, mate. Let's work this out together. But I also find it's more precise, right? You're
very precise. Yeah.
I move this unit of 20 guys. I move it 6 inches forward. 40k. Malifaux is another one that's questionable. Where I'm going to move this guy 6 inches. I'm going to roll on advance 10. Can it hit the wall? Can it go over the wall? Can it go round the wall? Can it go up the thing? If it's going up the stairs, it gets even more complicated. This is just straightforward, backwards and forwards.
Sometimes you get shaky boys who get a bit nervous and a bit shaky, and then this, you know what I mean? They're they're moving the models. You're like, you know, because they're nervous, not because of anything else. Old world, you know, you can't do that. You know, it's not literally. You can use sticks. You can really clearly measure.
Yeah.
The bit that caught me and Tim out was we didn't realise how sort of final's not quite the right word, but like definitive. If a unit faces or goes in a particular direction, you need to really think.
Yeah.
What is that wanting to be doing for the next few turns?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because like turning around and facing another way and going, because you can only do one maneuver. You can wheel as many times as you want, but you can only do one maneuver. And that includes like going backwards. So there's a bit where I wanted to like sort of go backwards and wheel and move a little bit. But I just couldn't do it. I could either wheel and move or go backwards and just go backwards. So I was like, there was a lance of knights that were just like facing facing a piece of terrain, like impassable terrain. I was like, well, this ain't good. They're just all like, fall back, reverse.
Just turn them on, I think, reform, man.
Yeah, I could reform, but I needed to move them as well because they ended up reforming just facing some chosen. So I was like, well, this ain't good. They just turn and be like, yeah, we're about to get charged by chosen and a lord.
I've got an army for you. I can turn and then that's done because I can only go 3 inches.
Dwarf? Are you trying to sell me dwarfs?
Yeah, of course I am.
The lazy man's army.
Yeah, because I turn on the spot. I could go like 3 inches. Turn on the spot is half your movement. I can move half an inch. We're not going anywhere.
Just like everybody trip up.
Deployment phase is huge for me because if I mess it up, that's the game.
Yeah, but I just think across the game, the deployment, the bit that I really enjoyed about deployment was one. It reminded me of fantasy. The bit that I really enjoyed is I could deploy without worrying that my army is just going to get insta-deleted. So there are other games that I play, 40k, where your deployment's kind of already done for you because you're like, well, everything's got to go behind these things because it can't be seen. Like if it's seen, it's dead. So you just kind of like hide everything in.
You'd love it.
Whereas fantasy, you're like, right, this unit I really want to be here. It just feels a bit more like you've got a bit more ownership over where stuff goes.
Yeah, 100%.
And then when you actually, this moves on to our second. Oh, maybe just finish. I guess we'll summarize that first point by saying it's not a game that you kind of just pick up and fling your models around.
No,
it's a tight game where there's a lot of pre-measuring and agreeing what stuff is before you roll it, and just making sure that those wheels and stuff are really tight. It's a game where you're really going to want to think about your deployment.
Yep.
And probably have a deployment style for your army. Do you know what I mean? Have like dwarfs, you know, you just do a semicircle around some war machines.
On the hill, yeah.
On the hill, yeah. And that's it. You'd have to think about anything. I'm just trying to watch.
That's right. If I get given a hill, I'm going to do it. I'm going to hide on the hill. But
yeah, I'm really sorry to report I don't have any hills here. So the streams that we're going to be doing the next few weeks. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I don't know.
No hills. Okay.
Yeah, you just got to fight on a Bretonian lancing field. it's just my table's going to be like a race course with just like your army just deploys in these lanes that my lancers just go straight down. Oh, you're in the Grail Knight lane. Just like endless Grail Knight.
Right, iron hammers in the Grail Knight lane. No lances for you.
Oh,
it was huge.
So deployment was fun. The bit that I really liked about playing the game, and it did take me by surprise, is things just do not die. Well, they do, but they die way, way, way. I cannot describe how less killy it is than old editions that I remember.
Yeah.
Or 40k. Isn't it? Like we would have like shooting phase, or like a model's died. Do you know what I mean? If that. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, it's just way, way, way less killing. And you'd have massive combats hitting each other. You know, lances smashing into things. You're like, I killed 3 guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
My shooting phase was a little bit more, but not by much.
You've got a little smirk on your face. Were you blowing Stephen up?
No.
So you were playing dwarfs against
so
dark elves?
I had, for reference, I had a shooting unit of infantry, 2 organ guns, and a cannon, right? I think I managed 8 unit models in one phase, but that was like, I think that was turn 2 when he'd come into super close range just before he charged me.
So you were hitting on what, like 3
4s?
4s, hitting on 4s?
Yeah, primarily. I think one of my organ guns was hitting on 5s because it didn't feel that good today.
It didn't feel too fancy.
But
Luke, all right, mate. Welcome.
Even in the combat, like you said yourself, you know, unless you're doing your really tough units on the charge, I don't think you kill many models. And lead on to my game with Steve, we, as I say, it was 7 rounds to kill. He had 18 models and I had 20 in the unit, and we were still alive on the, 7 rounds of combat.
It creates these like really thematic experiences though, and sometimes on 40k, I kind of like, someone's like, how did the game go? I'm like, oh man, like there's so much death and shooting and carnage and chaos, like it's a bit of a blur. Whereas the games I've played of this, I can distinctly remember like key combats happening because they happened and they kind of stayed there.
Yep.
And the fleeing mechanic, although it definitely it's definitely different and takes a bit to get your head round, and it is something where you do kind of need the rules up next to you and just kind of a bit of back and forth. And the other bit that complicates the fleeing mechanic is there are rules that change the fleeing mechanic, stubborn, shield wall, or, all those sort of things that add a factor in. However, it does create these really thematic experiences where a big unit of knights, lances, will smash into a warrior block, which will drop back 2 inches. And then the knights will follow up, but then the knights' next attack is a lot weaker because the lances have broken, and then another unit comes in, and another unit it does. You can imagine, you can kind of see in front of you a battle taking place, and the actual battle line of the units that are fighting shifting and moving. Yeah. And then suddenly one might break, and then they they go into the next. Whereas old fantasy, I remember being like, bang, flee dead, gone. Okay, all those 30 models have now completely disappeared because they fled and broke and have been overrun. Whereas this purposely does create those like slower thematic combat, and lords and characters seem to hit each other and go, I do a wound to you. I do 1 to you. And like, okay, well, there's going to be like 6 rounds of fighting. Kill each other. Like, I do a wound. I take no wounds. Okay.
When we played back in 8th, and in some cases you can port this over to 40k or other games, it's like you have bucketfuls of attacks, right? So even if you rolling on 5s to hit, you're going to hit enough to wound and kill potentially the unit. That's why you go in, right? It didn't feel like that, but you also know that unit that you've got 2 units lined up, if you can get a counter charge in on the flank, or you can get something to rear charge, you may do enough to like seriously hamper the unit, and then they go. So it was not we're just 2 people with pool noodles smashing at each other, but it was a game of this is tactical killing rather than just mindless.
Yeah, definitely. I think that feeling of the units hitting each other and then starting to give ground it not only feels a bit more realistic, but it also opens up the kind of tactical element of you feeding a unit to something. Do you know what I mean? And almost like, rather than just throwing a unit away and being like, I'll just hold them up. Oh no, they fled, they're dead, they're gone. Okay, I've just lost loads of units. You can kind of like purposely put a unit in, knowing that it's got shield walls, stubborn or whatever, it's going to drop back to then force a unit to come forward to open up like a flank charge on it. Or similarly, you can go in and let them drop back and then just restrain and hold there. So that whole fleeing mechanic just felt like it opened up a lot of tactical decisions that I haven't experienced. I know Mike Return to the Old World said the fleeing mechanic is similar to like other historical games, which he's got a lot of experience of. So that's interesting that it's kind of existed somewhere else.
So I learned, because I lined my units up in a line like you would, right? Because my unit had fallen back to, I couldn't actually charge because of the facing. So I learned some things. Like, oh, interesting. Have to
just staring off into the distance.
Yeah, there's a big unit Oh, turn. Reform, your turn.
The bit that caught me out a few times about how the game plays is I was really bad with some of my screening. So I had some peasant bowmen just like screening like some lances and stuff, which was it was just such a stupid idea. Because in my head, I kind of thought I could just like move them out of the way and then charge. But obviously because you're like charges straight off the bat.
Yeah.
The screen in my head, I'll put a screen in front of these knights, and I was like, oh, actually, I'm just screening my opponent. I'm just like, I'm doing my opponent's job. Like, get out of the way, stupid, stupid idiot bowman. So screens seem really good. Like screens seem really powerful, but you kind of want a screen that is going to get out the way. Like it's going to screen your unit, and then either die and hopefully flee and get out the way. But a good opponent might just leave the screen there and be like, well, yeah, I'll just get close because.
So this is why I think gyrocopters are crazy, because the game I played with them, where you can screen a unit and he can charge your gyrocopters, they're going to fall back too, but you can, you can get out of the way. But because you've got a 360-degree charge arc or movement, you can be like, I'm going to charge that unit over there because I've placed one guy this way and one guy this way, so I'm facing 360 degrees in this unit of 4, and it's like, that feels a bit weird.
It feels like I'm going to have to get my hammer out for Brandon's here. Welcome back, my friend. Good lad. I'm back. You beep. Bought my mate, Mike.
No.
Hey! Brandon.
Behave yourself, Brandon.
Don't have me reading out. Mike. Oh, I actually want to. I can't. The thing is about these names, I don't know what they are until I've read them out. So I almost want to read them out. They nearly got me then.
He nearly got you then.
I got to the Mike bit. Luke said, do you... two comments from Luke. Vincent, sorry. Chariot runners seem good for that reason, not blocking your own charge. True.
Yep.
Did you have a battle standard bearer? Or I didn't. My game against Tim, I did have a battle standard bearer. My game against Michael, battle standard bearer Al, I think.
Yeah, I think
I
you
didn't
take a battle standard bearer as potentially your first character. Well, your second because you need a hit lord that's leading it. But yeah, you definitely want one in the army, I feel.
Bretonians can get one for free, basically, in the Crusaders list. I think if you get a Paladin, he's a battle standard bearer for free. I think it's like a free upgrade. Yeah, so that Tim, I think it was the game with Tim where we kind of checked that role because he was using it effectively of it gives you the reroll.
Yep, within
12. It's within the leadership range.
Yeah, your command range now is your leadership, which was that's one of the ones that really threw me. Obviously, mine's 9, but like, I need to find out if negatives to that stack. So if there's something in the aura that gives you -2 leadership, is your command range reduced? And that's interactions. But yeah, I think battle standard bearer is going in the list straight away.
Makes sense, doesn't it? Strong ability. You don't want to... I think anything that gives you rerolls in this game is going to be really good.
Yes.
Rerolls are super solid.
Yeah, so...
Because there's not a lot of them. Brandon, giving away Flare membership. I actually don't know what happens there, but I really appreciate it.
Return to the old world. Michael's just been gifted a membership, so thank you very much, Brandon.
Oh, Brandon, what a G.
Say thank you as well, Michael.
What if Michael's there being like, what? I don't want... I hate these guys. I'm joking.
Well, no chance now. He's with us.
You're in the club. Good lad, Brandon. And welcome, Michael, my friend. We're going to do our first members video over the weekend of me. So you'll get a little flavour for some of the content that we're making. We're making members-only content, which doesn't wreck our algorithm. Because we'll be able to talk about more adult things and say more adult words.
Should look forward to it.
I've upset the YouTube algorithm, as well as Facebook, which I'm banned from, if I didn't notice, permanently deleting my account for copyright infringement for posting about this channel. Anyway, things definitely...
It is funny.
It was like... Getting really angry.
I think this might be your favourite part, though, to be honest. About
the third bit is... there is literally... I might find it and read it out. There is literally a bit that says no takebacks, and... I got so much hate when I dared to say the word takebacks when it came to 40k. It was one of the first shows we did, and everyone got fired up. All the lads from the club were just like, "Fuck!" It was just like,
Right.
I think me and Liam were like, oh, I can't remember if it was just me or maybe when I was just doing it on my own without Liam, I was just like, this is really quite quite lively. Brand says, giving people green names like on Oprah Winfrey.
He's on form tonight.
Man of the community, good lad. So there's a bit in the book that basically says no takebacks, and it's superb. It basically says, maybe I'll find it, read it word for it. It basically says, if you've rolled some dice and something's changed, learn from your mistakes and don't go back.
Even movement.
Which is great. Move it. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Well, I'm glad you've learned for next time because it's there now.
It means the game is more tidy. That's not English, but
it is.
You can't if you were to move a unit, you can't put it back in the same spot.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?
Because this game to work requires precise movement. Now, I will admit that when me and Tim played and I was doing my wheel from the back special reverse move, we did try and put it back. Uh-oh, Telly's just said, as an Italian in Italy, which we know what's coming next. Anyone who watches the Meta Monday show knows that what's coming next is going to probably be content warning material, right? Because we could be going Tau Reddit if Telly's taking us where we're thinking. Yeah, no takebacks, I think, is different for 40k because this is a game where what you don't want to be doing is moving the unit, I'll wheel it there, I'll go it there. I need it to be further up. Can I take it back? It's like, oh man, well we don't really know. We don't really know what it was.
Yeah.
Tim was excellent, and Tim was excellent at putting dice down. So what Tim would do is put a dice and a dice down, and then move it and try it, and then go, I'll just put it back on the dice. That's not a take back because you're basically saying, I just want to measure to see if this unit can possibly get to there because that's really important. Yeah, cool. Dice down to measure the back of the unit. Off it goes. Move there and then move it back. Brandon.
Careful.
Brandon. Jokes are not... I know you've super chatted, Brandon, and we love you, but that's content warning material right there, okay? That is...
Those of you in the chat, you can read it, enjoy it, and if you're listening to us, go back and read it and enjoy it.
And jokes in the chat may not represent the views, opinions of anyone involved, okay? And Telly, as an Italian living in Italy, careful where you're going with that as well, sunshine. Everyone's on a warning, right?
Yeah, careful now.
I'm worried.
Everyone's on a warning. I'm watching you all, okay? Everybody sit down, stop throwing apples. Best behaviour from all of you, especially you, Brandon. And sorry, Rob, carry on. I just had to get the class in order.
No worries. You got movement trays in this game, right?
I have.
You've got spare movement trays potentially, so you can leave a unit
that is
and
a good
do
shout.
Movement tray. You know, widget, half price widget, give or take.
That is a good shout. Could be a ruler, could be a movement tray, could be dice. Anything to signify where it's starting.
Yep.
I think. But what you can't do is then move that unit, move another unit, and then go, oh, actually,
I need to move the
I
other.
wanted to move these other way around. It's a very different game to 40k. So I like that.
You misread the first part.
Okay. You have my hat going on. It's become a great phrase, and you've seen it on all the Reddits now. You've just seen, like, after the Tower Reddit chaos. So no takebacks is good. Lack of rerolls definitely feels like a thing. Lack of rerolls is like, there were so many times where I think there are two things. There's a lack of rerolls combined with not that many dice that you're attacking with.
Yep.
I was charging Bretonian Lance, big Bretonian Lance unit, slams into something. Champion's got 2 attacks, and then you've got like 1, 2, 3, 4 on the outside of the lance or whatever.
Yep.
And then you're just kind of like, oh, that's only 6 attacks.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what am I hitting on? 4s. Oh, okay. So 3 hit on average.
Yeah.
Then you're like, right, what am I wounded on? And if they're charged, it's going to be 2s or 3s.
Yeah.
Which is fine. So like the Bretonian lance charge can be pretty good. But if it's outside the lance charge, you're like strength 3. Wounding on 5s a lot of the time.
Yeah.
1 goes through. What are you saving on?
4 plus.
4 up. Save. Okay. So you're like, yep, nothing died.
I think it makes the rerolls that you do have matter. So that's why be it the battle stand umbrella means something, because it's so important. I have an engineer that allows me to reroll an artillery dice.
Do you have reroll? I can't find any reroll. If anyone can find rerolls in the Bretonian book, I'll gift you memberships like Brandon's doing. I'll give you the world. I'll give you a Land Raider.
I don't have reroll. Well, I can reroll the artillery dice, but the dwarf rerolls are I reroll my armor save, so I can reroll ones on my armor
that's
save.
good.
it made them feel really tanky, but I was not killing anything.
Tim's Virtue of the Joust is on. Does that give hatred? Adam in the chat, welcome, my friend, another member of the show. Good lad. Does Virtue of the Joust... Liam, just tell us what that gives with your Bretonian...
It's just on my head, Adam. It's not on my chin anymore.
Liam's... All right. Yeah. Yeah, Liam's looking a bit different, isn't he, tonight, lads? And he's not wearing his glasses.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay, you don't want to wear them. I mean, unless it's your vibe, but...
No, I'm good, man.
If you wear them, what happens is people start taking pictures of you and putting you on the Discord as a meme, so I'd be careful.
That's probably going to happen anyway.
It's a rocky path with some of the characters. Yeah. So the rerolls... Oh, I think reroll... it's reroll wounds, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, but you just said you're winning on 2s, rerolling 1s.
Yeah, and that was the thing. The list I was playing, it does have Virtue of the Joust, but it was like strength 7. So it would just be like, a lot of time winning on 2s. But that is a reroll. I'm not sending you a Land Raider, Liam. Please send me those cards you have of mine. Crusader's Lance gets hatred. This is on single characters, isn't it?
I forgot I have hatred.
Membership, please. No, Liam, give me the cards. Hatred is rerolls.
Yeah, I've got that on characters. Apparently, I need to learn my dwarf rules. But hatred, it seems strong because coming in, re-rolling all of your hits on the first
hatred. Round. Yeah, there is in fact, I'm saying all this stuff about Bretonians not having re-rolls, but I also have a virtue that was on a Grail Knight champion, which gives hatred. So that's re-rolls. But it's just one person.
Yeah.
It's just the characters. I'm kind of looking for like Liam. Dom says all sister have hatred.
That's a different game, Dom.
Dom. Thomas the Tank Engine in the chat. So I miss you, Tom. Not seen you for a few weeks now since our game, and you gave me a vaping addiction. Oh, Slayers.
Yeah, that might be
Slayer
true.
In fact, Michael, Return to the Old World has Slayers in his list. He wasn't sure about them, but they seemed all right. They also are immune. They never flee.
Unbreakable.
They're unbreakable.
Yeah.
So I was like, this expensive unit will go on to them. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. And it's going to spend most of the game with them by the sounds of things. I'm just like, dink, don't die. Dink, dink. Nothing dying.
There is a good question in the chat, actually, there from Luke. Any opinions on magic? So, I'm a dwarf player, Luke. I don't know what magic is. I'm not really one to say. From what I've read, it feels... not less effective, but easier to understand. Because, let's be honest, towards the end of 8th and thingy, you had some armies where like, right, I have 15 million, whatever it is, dice, and I'm going to cast this spell and this spell, and you're like, what?
Yeah, it was a lot. So the bit, again, in chat, me and Tim will have him. Why does do that on my hand then? That's nice, isn't it? That's interesting.
Yeah.
Just came natural, that, Rob. I don't know what that was. We were talking about... our game, we didn't have any magic because we were like, let's just get core mechanics down. Let's just get a game in and just smash some stuff into each other on the table, obviously. And then like magic, we were like, that'll be the next thing to really get into. So I've been, since our game the other week, I've been reading a lot and looking at the Bretonian options for magic, and I've realised it definitely gives me like it definitely gives me a lot more synergy, and just it clearly gives a list like another level.
Is it where the rerolls are?
It's not where the rerolls are, because that's what I went looking for. I was like, right, okay, the rerolls will all be in magic. So I was like going for all the different schools. Like, right, no rerolls. Okay, no reroll. No, okay, fine. There's no rerolls, but there are pluses and minuses to hit. So there are mechanics which are kind of like, will give you +1 to hit or give your enemy -1, which isn't a reroll. But hitting on 3s rather than 4s, or wounding on 5s rather than 4s, the other way around, obviously makes a big difference. So in the absence of rerolls, and this was another point I was going to make, the absence of rerolls, the tactic of what unit goes into what enemy unit is really important. So unlike 40k, sorry, gents, I just finished my Coca-Cola. I'm going to crack another one as well soon. That's how crazy we are, lads, on the Coke Zeros, even though we're out of dry January. It's important to make sure that you are aware of opponent's weapon skill and manage what units are going into what else.
Yep.
So like this, like, oh, I'm hitting on 4s. Well, yeah, that's because you've sent your unit into something that's got a similar weapon skill. Whereas if it went into that unit, it's hitting on 3s. and they're going to be hitting back on 4s.
3s and then 2s on your lances, you might actually do some damage then.
I might actually kill us something with my all these knights that I've put. So that is a factor. Again, unlike unlike other games where you kind of just hit in on whatever it says on the card. So that is an extra layer of tactica. Is that a phrase? You're the English expert, despite not being English.
I think so. Tactica, strategic element. I think is probably closer. But I'm just
all right, Carol.
I think once you actually learn that, it's going to be fairly easy. The only confusing moment is if you're ballistic skill 4, you hit on 3s, and the other way around.
Yeah. And the two tables are different.
Yeah.
The tables are different.
Yeah.
The hit chart table and the wound chart table are different as well.
Yeah.
So that takes a little bit of like, oh yeah, that's different. That one. I have to keep jumping around.
Ali mentioned earlier getting a cheat sheet, so I'm well behind that idea.
I've got one. Yeah, I got one with the Bretonian box.
Oh, okay.
Good little cheat sheet. Sorry, Rob. I was just clicking on the chat. This is where you have to just let me fiddle with the chat.
Bear with you.
There we go. Boom.
Adam, it's the wrong game. We don't comment on Eldar. They're no longer broken.
Eldar are not welcome in this world. Okay.
Is there a data slate event thing on Monday? You can answer that question for him.
There is. I've got Tom on the show.
There you go. We'll find out Monday.
He's meant to be making me a presentation.
Well,
but I think I don't know if he will. Last time he turned up absolutely hungover, but he still did a fabulous job.
Is it going to be? You might need to vet that.
Yeah, after what I've seen from him in the chat today, I'm going to be keeping my eye on him. So the lack of rerolls, I think, actually just adds an extra level of strategy in that making sure you're putting your units into the right things. You're not just throwing things at stuff, relying on solely your hitting ability. You've got to judge it up against what you're going into. Magic phase, I think, is interesting and definitely adds another dynamic. It's almost like to start with, it's a lot. I recommend if people are just getting into this, sack magic off, just get into just charge stuff, shoot stuff, work, get used to the kind of fleeing dynamic and the psychology, and then add magic on as another thing. I think if you try and do it all off the bat, it's going to be a really long game. I think get to grips with it and then add the magic. What's Adam saying?
He's saying, is it Coke Zero? It is.
I hope that is Coke.
That.
Mate, maybe that's an After Dark show about my Coca-Cola stuff. Ali says it's nearly the weekend. Get some rum in there, and then I can't see. There's a C word. I hope it's not anything in that Coke. So I've done dry January officially anyway, and I'm gonna. I don't want to just instantly drink on the next day. Georgia did say she left, didn't she? I'm not going to drink.
Yeah, she said I won't have anything.
Yeah, she did say that. So if she was like, I'm going to go do pints, I'd have been like, oh yeah, well, I'm
time for a beer.
I'm doing pints, but I think her strength is my strength is something I've never said before.
That's the joys of
and instantly regret it because it sounds ridiculous. Right, charge mechanic.
So, have a good evening, Tim.
Oh, Tim, catch you later, matey. Speak to you soon. Appreciate you. Great. So I said Brandon is in the naughty corner. That is for sure. I will be having words with Brandon off stream. But Tim, thank you so much, mate. Appreciate you loads.
And then the charge mechanic.
The charge mechanic is pretty cool. I like the charge mechanic a lot. Again, this might be because I'm rolling lots of dice.
Look, I can go 9 inches if I roll a 6. I'm really coming.
Yeah, this might be because I'm rolling 2 dice, re-rolling ones, picking the highest, and rolling another dice. Oh, and I'm movement 8.
Yeah,
it's kind of like
you can charge for about.
What's your maximum charge for it? This much. That's how much I'm charging then. Like it's pretty cheeky.
Yeah, I like the strategic element for me is like you're gonna go 9 or I think it's 10 inches away and I can't charge you at all. It's just not possible for me. But what I can do is march up to you as close as possible so that you don't get an initiative bonus, which is quite nice.
Yeah, and that is a thing.
That interaction where you can also, that's where screening I think comes in, because you can be like, well, you've come into a place where you can charge me, but I can't charge you. But these unit of wolves or something else that's small can run in and go, yeah, but now you have to charge this and you're going to overrun over there and you're not going to be much use for the rest of the battle because you didn't commit that turn. And I like that. That feels interesting, tactical. As you
agree. I do. Oh god, this chair! I've not realised how creaky this chair is until today. It's literally breaking, like disintegrating from underneath me. Adam says, "Does G have anything to say about you having more men around the house?" G greets everybody, doesn't she?
Yeah, we had a nice conversation.
Yeah, G greets people. Do you know what I mean? She looks after people while they're here.
I even got some food. It was great.
Yeah, Liam's seen her in all sorts of conditions. That's why he keeps coming later and later when he comes. Liam's like, I'm not every week. Yeah, the charge mechanic is really cool, and it's not the end of the world if you kind of fluff a charge, because, and especially when you start getting really close to each other, because you get +1 initiative for every inch that you charge, up to a maximum of 3.
Yeah,
which is why you're just making that point around getting really close.
My opponent fluffed a charge, and I then failed one against him because I couldn't get in.
Just like nothing happening.
I went 3 inches on my charge.
Yeah, I like the charge mechanic, and because of the charge mechanic combined with the fact that things are less killy,
yeah,
it's not the end of the world if you get charged. You're not kind of like, oh, that's that unit dead. I'm like, I'm going to get absolutely rinsed. It's like, yeah, I'm probably going to lose the combat, and I'm probably going to drop back a couple.
Well, my army's built on receiving the charge, and Team Kings charge me. You're going to kill an extra. I'll take off an extra dude. Let's go. You know, some armies are built around just receiving the charge, and you like. Name a 40k army that wants to get charged. Maybe Custodes if you have some CP, but other than that, it ain't a thing. Yeah, it's a very, 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 very killy game. Dom says, hammers have great weapons without the debuffs. Yeah, so the full chat there is, they're talking about, will a dwarf army with great weapons be the way to go? And if I'm honest with you, it could be just take great weapons, possibly with the exception of the Ironbreakers. But yeah, like, I love the way the charge mechanic interacts.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fun. It's good.
It's also cleaner. You know, we're talking about the measuring in. I don't move and then charge. I declare the charge and I charge. Yeah. There is no other movement involved in my turn.
Yeah, I enjoy that mechanic a lot. And yeah, just the way that historically I would get really annoyed at things that weren't guaranteed. Do you know what I mean? I would not like kind of random charge or random things like that. But because of the lack of killiness, you can, I think, build strategies that like have a go at getting that charge in, but if they don't get it in, then it's fine. And I really like the fact that they've made Bretonnian lances so like almost guaranteed charge, because they would suck so bad. Like they would just be so bad if they weren't.
Introduce you to my gyrocopters.
Your gyrocopters are going to be a problem. The problem you're going to have with them is getting an opponent. I'll be like, no.
That's why I didn't take any in my last game, right?
No, you could. No, I don't mind. You can bring what you want to me. I'd like to see their lethality.
It's nothing to do with lethal. They're not lethal. They're just a pain.
Well, fine. Annoyingness.
Yeah.
Ali says undead zombie speed bumps loves getting charged. That's true. Zombie speed bumps.
Yeah.
Just hit me.
You know, there's loads of speed bumps in the game if you look for them.
Oh, so gyros, you mean sky bicycles?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, a sky bike. So the charge mechanic is really cool. I think we talked about this in the last slide, but the dynamic of the fleeing
or the
is
not
cool.
fleeing
Or the not fleeing.
It's like a hybrid.
Yeah.
It rather than it being two units that smash into each other, you know, either one wins and we run away. You actually get an ebb and flow of combat. I moved 2 inches, you move 5 inches, and I couldn't catch you, and backwards and forwards. But you know, you beat a hastily retreat, but then you get charged, or you're able to get a retreat, and then you can get away because it's your turn. So yeah, there's so many more options.
Yeah, definitely. Liam says Swift Stride not only increases the charge, but shifting the average up massively on the ball curve for the bell curve.
Yeah. So what he's
for average amount. Yeah.
What he's referring to, if you're not clear, is most chargers pick 2d6 and keep the highest, unless you're going into terrain and it's the lowest. Swift charge adds an additional d6, so that's like a minimum average of 3.5. You know, which can then
and you get +3, and you get +3 to your maximum charge distance. So you can only ever charge your movement.
Yeah.
+6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
That's your maximum charge distance,
and then
right?
swift charge, yeah.
But Swift Stride gives you another. I think it's another 3. So basically, lances can go like 17 inches.
Cool.
16, 17 inches. So it's pretty good.
It's nice. It's a rule I've not read yet because it didn't.
Yeah. It's not a rule you need to read as dwarfs. Funnily enough, Swift Stride is not something they're ever going to get familiar with. Unless they go all like Gimli and they do get them on like a little pony or something. That'd be for
fastest
little
I can
pony
move
dwarfs.
is if I break someone, right, and run them down, I can move 11 with a 12 maximum roll. That's a
Just like little speed. They get little roller skates out of little scooters and just scoot along. Off they go. Liam says, need to read it for Alan in demigryphs. There you go, get some of them in.
Yeah, and there might be some nice bear riding dwarf models in the future, but right now, as you stick with what you have in your army, stick with limited options, learn the game, then move forward.
No, go wild.
Go wild.
Do what I want to. Just buy everything.
Liam, we need to push back his card order while you...
I swear to God, Liam, right, when am I getting these cards?
I need you to print me some demigryph bears.
Adam says I want to ally in some Necrons.
They're called Team Kings in this edition.
Bring in a monolith.
They're yellow, and do they have a monolith equivalent? They probably have something.
Imagine just bringing a monolith in. It still wouldn't die. Nothing would die.
No.
If you transport it into like old world rules.
Yeah, and an old world Necron has two shots at strength 5, AP 1.
What are your sort of like? What are your sort of like? I don't even be closing, but like concluding thoughts on Old World. I know you're desperate to get more games in, so that's obviously a good sign.
I love it. Like I told you, I've been looking forward to it for ages. I'm not going to say I'm not disappointed. I'm enjoying myself. It feels tactical in a way that I don't get from some other games. Like I like 40k. I like the way it plays. It is a much more fluid, dynamic game. This feels, from someone who likes to drill tactics down, who likes to go forward and go, I can pre-plan from my deployment phase. I joke, deployment phase, I'm not going more than 4 inches off the board. But like, I can learn it all, that thing. But it's also...
Do you actually deploy right at the back? You do
No.
that? No, you're not that guy.
No, because if I break, I'm off the table.
You just like break.
Yeah, so I was 12 inches on.
Yeah, so you're 4. 12.
Yeah, full 12 inches on. I mean, there is probably a game where like 8.5 inches on is the whatever, you know.
Sure.
Too soon. I like the fact that we still have the same community because we're building the community, and we still have those players, but we're playing another different game. So it isn't just the same game, and I've actually enjoyed painting, ranking up models. It feels like actual ranks. It feels like full on, you know, including units as opposed to just the odd Space Marine on a jet bike or whatever.
Yeah.
What about yourself?
I'm really, really, really enjoying painting the models, thinking about the game, reading the books, and I really enjoyed the games that I played. It was definitely a nice change of pace from 40k, and it was a real breath of fresh air to be playing a game where it wasn't just like this obsession with scenario scores, and I don't know, it just felt refreshing to be like,
yeah,
I need to just kill as much of your stuff and not lose and kill and lose as little as mine whilst doing it. There was just something kind of like that allowed my brain to like lock in and zone in on that element, and I really enjoyed the precise movement dynamic to the game.
Yep.
And the fact that it's not super killy, oh my god, everything is instantly dead.
Yeah.
But despite that, it is not that forgiving in that if you mess up on your deployment,
oh hell yeah,
or if you mess up with like a wheel of a unit or a placement of a screen, it is bad.
Yep.
So it's not like, oh, it's not that killy, it's really easy, you can just like nothing ever happens. It is. You need to have a strategy and you need to have tactics. And what I like about, I can see you looking at the chat. If we got some, damn,
Adam's a special one.
Adam's. I'll read it in a second. Adam. Well, I'll let Rob just prevent me from reading it if there's anything I can't read out in there. And I like the fact that I think that players that think really strategically and play strategically and refine their lists are going to do really well in this game.
Yes.
Versus people that kind of just, I'm going to throw stuff at you, which sometimes 40k, like you can just get some lists in 40k that are a little bit point and click.
World is.
I'm not naming any factions.
I will. I'm quite happy. World is.
Adam says, have you been damned by some sweaty 50-year-old who just scoffs about how 21 paces and superior?
No, but I've not played you yet. So.
There's time. Index crons. Get him in. Imagine a monolith rocking up. That would be lively. Yeah, I think the rules are good. I think there are bits of it that worries me. That's kind of like less about the game and the rules, and more about Games Workshop.
Yep.
That the fear bit. Well, fear's the wrong word. I ain't scared of it. The like concern of it is around GW's ability to not mess this up.
Yeah, that's always going to be worrying.
Yeah, because like Telly was saying to me yesterday, all those models are selling out on the AOS side, so like it's clearly going to be insanely popular, and we've got GW doing the kind of like, oh, you can order some metal model. Have you seen the Bretonian models that are like metal order to make, like resin order to made? That kind of thing. I think it's a bit of that's cool, but also just make the models. Like people want to buy this stuff. Don't mess it up. Like, and I worry that we're going to get this like because of the demographic of people that are playing Old World. It's that older crowd.
Yep.
Some of them are a bit bitter just because they're getting old. You know what I mean? They're getting a bit upset with themselves at their age. You know, me included. And it's going to be like people go, oh, I'm just going to get plastic. I'm just going to get molds and resin. And that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. But I just don't want GW to create this like big tension point where, because like, you know, me and you played enough 40k to see that like there's a lot of resin in 40k. Like there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people do printing. That's fine. But it's not the point where it's a threat to GW or it's taken over the game. I just don't want Old World to end up in that where it's super popular, people are loving it, but GW are just kind of tripping over themselves a little bit.
Yeah.
And not getting release schedules out really punchy, you know, models available in stock. Because the launch, I mean, Liam's still got my cards.
He's making comments about it.
I know, he has said so. I'm going to go back and read it and I'm going to keep it for the court case.
Yes, I agree with you. I think the problem there is the Age of Sigmar are done by another team, right? So
yeah,
it's clear that the Age of Sigmar stuff is sold out, and they haven't timed it with their Old World release, which in the ideal world they would have done. There's some complex with the situation there with the businesses, but for me, the Old World team, yes, they've released it in metal and stuff like that, but we've already seen Dwarf Dice. We saw on day one. As the game came out, they were saying, this is faction number 3. And that has already been shown. And we've already seen the models. We've already seen the box that it comes in. We've already seen those things. That's true. Like, if that comes out, let's say it comes out at the end of February, right? You've had...
the Orc stuff, yeah.
Yeah, like before the end of February. That's going to be that will help it. You know, you see dwarves in...
well, it'll just get even bigger.
March, yeah.
But the Orcs coming out will then get people to buy more of everything else because they'll see it on the Warhammer community page. They'll see people playing at the club. I think Old World is going to be really, really big. And I just want to make sure that, well, not that I've got control of it, but it would be good if GW made sure that they gave it the support. This is not heresy. This is not going to be Horus Heresy.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that. Which, you know, you've told me a lot about. It's a cool game. Like, the lore of it's great. Like, loads of people enjoy it. But this is a different beast. And I think the rules are definitely going to support a really interesting competitive system and narrative system.
Yeah.
Great narrative. You can have some quality. We're going to have some great narrative games on the stream. It's so better suited to streaming as well, Old World and 40k.
Yeah, like we were talking about widgets for charging and stuff.
Widgets for charging, less terrain on the board, like only keep one score. There's not like, what's the primary, what's the secondary?
Yeah, you can go. I'll get my calculator out, work out.
I'm going to read some of the chat. There's some good comments coming. Telly says, have you been hit by a Hellstrike missile yet in the Old World? That needs to be a thing. I think when we do the streams, we might have to let people send Hellstrike missiles by super chats. I think we might have like a Hellstrike, like a £5 could be like a Hellstrike missile. Nothing's dying, right? A Hellstrike missile, like Duke, like, oh, sorry, something came through from another time. Turnod says, models selling out, you don't say. It is a very GW thing.
Yeah.
Dan's worried it'll become Bookhammer. Books that unlock new detachments, etc. Do you think it's going to become Bookhammer?
So, I actually don't mind that, right? Conversely, if all of the rules are available like they are now, okay, and they come out and because all of the army books are released right now, if they go Warhammer 2nd edition and it's just new books, new detachments, I think they're called army styles actually, not detachments.
Yeah. For
me, that's fine because I can choose whether or not I buy the Arcane book for Bretonians, but I can still play Bretonians without that. That I don't have an issue with. If it becomes like 40k is now, where, 8th edition Imperial Guard didn't get a book for 2 weeks before the next edition come out, and then it's
ridiculous.
not relevant. Okay, I have a problem with that. I'm not down with that. But the way they've done it now, release everything, release new they're essentially releasing new detachments and not a new army book. I'm all for that because I can choose whether or not I buy that, right? Conversely, I've bought 2 books, and I have all 9 armies.
Yeah, that is nice. That is nice.
And I can see all 9 armies that my opponent has, right? And for me, I wish the legacy armies were in, and in our club, anyone who wants to play with a legacy army, I'm down for it. Anyone who wants to come on the stream, legacy.
Oh yeah, no, legacy's all good.
I wish those ones would be included, and if GW have a brain, I'll get my glasses on for this.
I can borrow mine if you want.
In 9 months, they need to wake up, take whatever they're eating, and go, "Oh, cool! I could have made, and add these back in, make books for these."
Yeah, this is what GW need to realise. Times have changed. The internet has changed everything from our political system to everything. Everything we can imagine has changed due to the internet, especially since Fantasy was out. Last Fantasy. Now, if you're not doing it, GW, the community are just going to do it.
Yeah,
they're going to print the models. They're going to create comp systems if they feel that the rules are a little bit wacky.
Yep.
And they'll just take action.
So,
and I just hope GW see that commercial opportunity and respond accordingly, and don't just sit back and treat it like a heresy or a Blood Bowl, whatever else. We're like, oh yeah, it's great, but 40k, we got all Age of Sigmar.
I think it's already taken off in some cases. Like I was looking at UKTC and Square Based, to name some people.
Don't name other podcasts on this show. Right?
Okay.
I'm just joking. I'm joking. Okay, I'm joking. I literally don't care less.
They already have done some comp, right? But they're already putting events for that we never saw for Heresy.
Exactly. It's going to be a different beast.
I'm contemplating going to the old world UKTC London GT and not playing 40k. I'm going to get stoned by people in the Discord here, but me and Steve...
I'm worried.
Yeah, you should be. Me and Steve, honestly, were like, oh, that's an interesting line. I might do that. I know I'm going to get stoned by all the 40k players.
You do you, mate. You do what you enjoy. That's what this should always be about. Telly says, Inside Men, are the AOS minis... Oh, and then Liam, I think, return to your world answer that question. And then, you guys are just kind of chatting to each other. That's nice. Adam, definitely don't name the scout. No! Yeah, I mean, our last Meta Monday, controversial as it was.
A couple of drinks today.
I like Adam's fired up. Adam's going to get Liam for me. Chat's been lively. Yeah, I think we've given a good overview, and also nice to hear from the chat just to round things up. Those of you that have either got a game in or are looking at the game, what are your kind of reflections and thoughts? And also, do us a favour if you're watching live, lads, chuck it a cheeky like, please, if you've enjoyed and all those boys are still with us. It helps the channel loads.
Continue the conversation. Conversation on the Discord, right? Come on.
Oh yeah, come get on our Discord.
In the old world, we're away with it. Loads of real questions, loads of conversations.
And we're going to keep growing it out. We're going to start putting the different faction things on. We just don't want to overwhelm people and have like 50 channels, but we are going to keep growing it out. And you can support the channel if you like the stuff that we're doing. If you like the old world stuff, if you like the 40k stuff, you can now become a member and you'll get some bonus content of us doing some after dark, much more adult content type chaps, so we don't get in trouble from YouTubes. And you also get emotes and all that kind of wacky stuff. And we also appreciate loads. Adam says I miss Peter, lost but not forgotten. Peter is still alive. So those of you that watched Meta Monday 40k show, Peter, who is in a war zone, joins us live in the chat. But last week he wasn't here. We worried that he was gone, but he did comment he's alive and well.
It's good to hear. Classic
Peter style though. He wrote like a small essay. It's like a.
Is it worth going back and reading? Are you telling me?
Maybe for the Meta Monday.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, give it a read. It's like War and Peace. He's written sort of like an anthology.
Sounds good, mate.
It's good to be Blight Legionnaire. One of the things for me that feels a bit more chill and hopefully won't need to patch holes every 5 minutes like 40k. Yeah. Terranor, the Discord link should be on the channel. I'll chuck it in the chat for you now, actually, mate. Go on, Rob, you answer that question.
So, yes, I don't think there's a couple of things that might need patch notes, but so this edition was wrote by one gentleman and his team, and you can tell that everything is on a similar level. There is a couple of questionable things, but no one can test everything. The games I've played have felt much more balanced than 40k. There's no...
Oh, big time.
I'm the bottom army, you're the top army. I think there is potential for a tier list, and I'm definitely up for doing that with you, but I don't think it's anywhere near it. The gap between top and bottom is not as big as people...
Yeah, 40k you can do top and bottom. It's like top is always going to beat bottom.
Yeah.
That sounds like an After Dark sort of comment there. Return to Your World. Don't forget you're appearing on the Taylor Many Gamers tomorrow. Everybody please support Return to Your World's channel. He's the OG. He's doing a great little piece with me and Rob included, talking about our armies and how we're building them. It's a throwback to the White Dwarf, Tale of Gamers.
Yeah, that's going to be good fun. And he might not say this, but you might be able to get involved still. It'll be on his channel tomorrow. Yeah,
get on there. Go ask him. Find out. Engage with the boy. He's a good man.
Yeah.
A good man.
Or come and play against those people involved in small games.
Yeah, fair. Terranos is easy to balance when you only have 2 armies.
Except they balanced 18.
There's a lot out there now. It's accessible. There's a bunch.
There are 2 armies that have official models, but there are 18 rule sets, and they all feel okay.
Your hair it looks good, your hair, you know, Rob.
I know, especially done it well. I had enough at work for obvious
I
reasons.
like it. He's smarting himself up.
And I got my hair cut today.
Lads, thanks so much for joining us, Rob. Appreciate it. This is going to be a regular slot on the show. It's joining Meta Monday. We're going to have Old World Wednesdays. And the streams are coming back. I'm going to drill some stuff into my roof this weekend. Georgia is going to go absolutely spare. But it's happening. It's happening. And the streams are going back. And we're going to have 40k stuff and Old World. Do us a favour. Please subscribe if you haven't done already. I appreciate loads. Like and all that stuff. And join us on the Discord for more old worlding discussions.
Indeed.
Right, Rob, which was the theme tune and not Gordon Ramsay swearing?
Green one.
Thanks for joining us, folks. We'll see you next time. You did just join us too late, my friend. But rewinds, watch you all. There's lots of content there. Like and subscribe and join us next time on Old World Wednesday.
See you next time.